manager for Africa and as a project engineer for Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa, and also in the car manufacturing industry. Gansirey has an MSc in computer science and microelectronics engineering and another MSc in electronic payment system and security. So you can say she is very much an expert when it comes to electronic payments. Today, she will be looking at M-payment identity verification in the absence of a credible national ID. She's going to bring to bear her experience across Africa. Please make her welcome.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would apologize for my English. I don't know where Bola is. I'm not English, and I'm not coming from an English country speaking, so I think my presentation will be a bit funny. We need it because we are talking about something very serious, but I will do my best to make it understandable. I'm very happy to be here today, and this just justifies the fact that we made the right decision by coming in the country now. The reason why I'm saying that is we have some presentation, and those presentations just show me that now people are moving where we were years ago and what we were trying to push in Africa. And I would say maybe something personal, but I really believe that we can make it. Financial inclusion is something we can make. There are challenges, but I strongly believe as well that we cannot keep saying it's not working, or keep saying these are the challenges. Once the challenges are there, what are we doing to overcome them? That's the philosophy we have, and that's why I am very pleased today to be here, because I have heard a lot of things regarding security, which is one of the challenges, regarding regulation, which is another challenge. So we will try, as Ingenico, to just bring what we have done in other countries, what we have seen in other countries. And I think by putting everything together, we can manage to get something working for Nigeria. Not a drag and drop of what is going on in Kenya, because it will not work. M-Pesa tried to replicate the same model in Tanzania. It didn't work. So I think drag and drop doesn't work. Let us see, based on how the culture is, how the sociological area is, and all of us bring our best of expertise to try to get something done. So today I'm going to talk specifically about, I heard a lot of biometric things. There were a lot of theories, how we can implement it effectively. So I'm going just to present to you very quickly. I will not bother you with pages of presentation on Ingenico. What are the mobile banking opportunities, because there are opportunities, and how can we catch those opportunities? People are talking about SIM registration. It's one means. Is there anything else to do to improve that SIM registration? We will see that. And I saw in one of the presentations at the end, someone said mobile banking or mobile payments is about transferring monetary value. Is that only what people are waiting for when we talk about financial inclusion? Because at the end of the day, doing that is just, I'm taking my cash to the agent, for the agent to transfer the cash to another agent, for that agent to give it to someone else. So at the end of the day, we are still in a cash-based society. So we will try to find out how we can bring maybe either some reflection tracks or some solution to those questions. So briefly, who is Ingenico? Ingenico is a French company. We are global leader in point-of-sale terminal. We are present in all the 5 continents for over 30 years now. So payments, when you talk about electronic payments, you obviously talk about security, That's our leitmotif, and that's why we think we have as well a role to play in the recently awakening mobile payments. Just some key figures, but the most important is not the revenue or the number of employees or the margin we are making. The most important is we have more than 15 million POS deployed worldwide in active use. And out of those 15 million POS, you have biometric POS, you have POS for what we call traditional banking, you have POS for financial inclusion, you have POS for, I can say, everything. Because payment is not supposed to be something just reserved to an elite. Everybody should be able to pay whatever you are, with whatever means you are. If it is 500 naira, why not? The one who has millions of naira sitting in a bank account as well has this right. I think there is any need to go again through all these data because we all know it. That's why we are here today. These data, I took them from a Nigerian organization, FINA. If you look at it, we have 74% of people who has never been banked. But for me, the most important is not just those who have never been banked, but those who have been banked and have left the banking, the traditional banking area. Why have they left it? Maybe the reason why they left it is the reason why the unbanked, or some of the unbanked, have never been banked. And what of the other ones who have never been banked? Are banks adapted to capture that market? So far in Nigeria and in a lot of countries in Africa, I don't think so. And if you look at it, really, it's about 64 million of people who are requiring financial services, access to financial services, and there is nothing so far to capture them. And there is serious, I don't know if you say that in English, cash flow outside, both for banks, because they might be interested in that, but for all mobile payment stakeholders as well, because it's a real market. So we are talking about business to business, so people, it should be profitable, but we should as well keep our mind in the customer services oriented. These are ASO data because it's unfortunate that the NIMC director has left. Because for me, it's wonderful to talk about central database. It's wonderful to talk about we have ID card management, or we will have it. But those people, they are not waiting. And this license, as I said, has been not licensed, approval in principle. They have been released for people to prove something. So how can they prove that they can manage in a secure way the ID and do a secure mobile banking platform while people are forcing us to be connected to a central database which is not yet here? How are we managing that? They talk about ID card. These are data as well from just September 2010, where they said out of the unbanked people, you have 32 only have an ID card. I'm not even talking about passport because I think the people we are targeting here are not the people traveling around the country, going shopping or doing something like that. So which means what? Which means 68% of the market we are targeting don't have any ID documents. So how are we going to make sure, as James said, that these people we are addressing are actually the right people? And it's wonderful to talk about KYC. KYC is as well about filling forms. But there is something I will not say it's a mistake, but by experience in other countries where, for example, in Kenya, I worked in the M-Pesa project as well, where at the beginning we were just thinking, okay, we are bringing financial services to people. We always think low income. Sometimes it's not just low income. Because you can find someone maybe selling suya or something like that. You would just say it's a low income because he's not dressing suit, going to the office every morning. But maybe he's making money, but he's just too far from the banking sector. And if you look at it, most of them are illiterate, and that's one of the reasons why they don't have access to financial services. Which means that there are challenges, and we have to overcome it. Because the reason why we are here is not just to list all the challenges, but how we can find solutions. So, if you have 68% unbanked without any ID documents, 68% of 64 million, how many people is that? So, which means there is now issue to register the SIM, and maybe that's because my English is not good, that I don't really understand the difference. When people talk about SIM registration, is it SIM registration or customer registration? Because registering the SIM, technically you can know everything about this. Everything. But the link between the SIM and the customer himself, that's what we are talking about here. So how are we doing that? How can we make sure that when the customer comes either to withdraw money, because I sent money to him, or when the customer comes to open an account, because we are talking at the end of the day about virtual account, how can we make sure that this SIM is registered already? You can have your SIM, I either borrow it, or I steal your SIM, I whip your phone, everything. I can go, as he said, and get money on your behalf, while you are not aware. So the link between the SIM registration itself and the customer is something we need to address. Because we are no longer talking, we talk about identification factor. But I think in this area, we really need more than one single identification factor. We will come back later on that to explain further. And as I said, when we talk about illiteracy, we are facing a problem of KYC form. I don't think I'm that illiterate, but when I tried to open an account in Nigeria, they gave me so many forms that I was just completely lost. I couldn't feel anything. I was not understanding what they were asking me. Why did they ask it to me? And at the end of the day, they didn't open the account. Because there are things I didn't feel correct. And I don't think I'm that illiterate. So, which means what? We are talking to people, most of them, you can be literate, you can know how to read, how to write. But how to go through all this form is something else. So, is it any possibility to find a way to lighten this KYC form? Because this has another issue, the issue of processing these data. Because once you register, it's not just about you have registered, you have the application on your mobile phone running, and they collected your data, maybe you don't know how to sign, you will just put your thumbprint. Where are those data sent to? Is it done real time? If it is not done real time, maybe you can go to another agent and do something else with another name or whatever you want, and which is another security challenge. And this one, I think my James has just gone through all these security challenges. And maybe the things I can just add on the security challenge is actually, if you look at the traditional payment industry, when Value Card, for example, they develop a Visa application, they are not sending it to CBN to certify it. It's not CBN's job to certify it. CBN can put all the platform to make sure that people are working in a correct way, set the framework, do a bureau or whatever it is. But to certify this application, for that particular application to be able to accept a Visa card, this application needs to be certified by Visa.